Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. Alright, carrying on from what information we can gather from this shareholder meeting, there's some talk about Master Plan Part 3, which we're told is about scaling, which is what we've all established by now too. In that, hey, this whole electric car and energy storage thing might be really big, perhaps even really, really big. So where will all the parts come from? Is there even enough in the world? How can it be extracted, processed, and refined? Long story short, we've heard Elon say we need about 300 terawatt hours of batteries. I know a lot of this is a review of what we already know, but there are so many incredible things continually coming out of this company, it can be easy to forget and marvel at what we already know. But these castings are just such a great design. 1,600 fewer welds, 171 pieces of metal reduced to 2. Whilst making lighter, stiffer, better handling, less noise, better sealing against water, better in every way. It's incredible. A new way of making a car. These castings will continue to evolve as well. On the Q2 earnings call, I think I recall it was about 5 kilograms they'd saved on just experimenting with different alloys. Tesla are relentless at non-stop improvement. So let's not forget to marvel at the actual progress in the product, as well as the manufacturing, demand, or stock price. Then we see the reduction of robots required to produce a vehicle. And wow, really, Tesla are using about half as many robots with the Model 3 at Fremont than the Model S. Alright, the S was a bit bigger, but still that is a massive drop. Then the Model Y Fremont was almost half of what the Model 3 Fremont was using. Then Austin and Berlin are half of that again. I think we're meant to assume perhaps this is when the 4680 structural pack and front cast is in full effect. But either way, Elon says that the new factories are using 30% of the amount of robots as the Fremont Model 3, not 30% fewer, 30% of the amount, as in if they were previously using 1,000 robots, it's now only 300. Elon has said this many times that Tesla's core competency will be Tesla's manufacturing technology, but he puts it more into a different perspective this time. He says all cars will be electric and even FSD, but from a long-term standpoint, the thing that will be the hardest to replicate will be Tesla's manufacturing technology. What does this mean? It means no one will be able to make cars faster than Tesla. They won't be built as well as Tesla, nor as safe, and for not as low a cost as Tesla can build. Translation? These better production processes will only further improve demand, but also will increase supply. I think it was perhaps the Cyber Rodeo where Elon likened the factories, or machine that makes the machine, to a microchip. It can be continually refined and improved with each new iteration. More efficient, fewer parts required, smaller processes, rinse and repeat. So to what level, I'm not sure, but Elon has thrown some crazy numbers around of between 10 and 100 times faster. Although since he mentioned those, Tesla should already be about 4 times faster with these new factories. For those of you in engineering or programming, you know what it's like when you finish building your product. Everything you've learned from the process, if you could simply redesign it all from scratch again, you could do a much better job. But it's often not feasible. For example, I think Apple took 18 iterations until they got rid of the bugs from the iPod. Well, each new factory Tesla build, it's the same. Berlin and Austin are not perfect, or the finished product. The machine that makes the machine will improve with every new factory. The factories will be smaller, lower cost, faster to build, and the output will be faster, with a lower cost product, every time they build a new factory. Eventually the technology may have gone so far that they may start to retrofit some of the older factories too. It's just not worth the downtime yet. In fact, it doesn't even appear to be worth the downtime to put a rear casting in the Model 3. I know some people thought perhaps this latest upgrade in Shanghai might have been a rear casting for the Model 3, but I don't think that is the case. Also, a gigapress would have likely been spotted by one of our many spies. And this lead Tesla have, well, a lot of it can be attributed to the incredible talent of employees Tesla have at their disposal. Then we're shown a list of the top companies engineers want to work at when they graduate. The fresh, energetic minds of the future who want to spin their wheels and be given unimaginable resources to reshape the world as we know it. Previously, most engineers go into the usual corporation filled with excitement, only to discover corporate life is not what they hoped. All their ideas and innovative thinking is suppressed with politics. Tesla is very much the antithesis of that corporate structure. And Elon even says anyone can email him and even complain about management. Tesla's management style and the way they work so closely with the engineers and are also near the floor too has a lot to do with the continual progress made with efficiencies on the line, compared to management in some skyscraper downtown overlooking everyone else, not seeing what's really happening with the company. Anyway, Tesla is the top place to work for many of these engineers. And if it's not Tesla, then it's SpaceX. And Tesla and SpaceX do pool resources. In other words, they have access to all the best engineers. Compare this to the competition. General Motors comes in at 17th. They're taking all the engineers that a lot of companies have already passed on. Tesla had 3 million job applications last year. I'd say they accepted less than 1% of them. The best are all applying to Tesla, and then Tesla is just taking the cream off the top of them. So how will the competition ever catch up with less competent engineers? Is it not possible that not only will they never catch up, but Tesla's lead may actually grow even further? Despite all Tesla's patents available to anyone and all the processes that have already been invented, they still can't replicate Tesla's magic. Elon talks about the next generation of supercharger, the V4 supercharger. The rumors around the internet are that this will be capable of 350 kilowatts, which is quite the upgrade from the current V3 supercharger at speeds of 250 kilowatts. That's a whopping 40% increase in charging speed. Whether this speed will be limited to just the 4680 cells is something else, but those charging speeds are getting really fast, and V4 we should see next year. Years ago, Tesla used to talk about Tesla's charging infrastructure being one of their major competitive advantages, that and their range and performance when compared to the other EVs, especially comparing them on paper. I feel like Tesla have done so many major advancements over the last few years that their supercharger network has lost some of its limelight. But we shouldn't forget that Tesla's charging network has such a lead over any of the competition that it really is still a major competitive advantage. And I'm just referring to the network. However, it's also the charging speed and efficiency too, among others like the reliability of a 99.96% uptime. But no other company can so feasibly or profitably add chargers more than Tesla. And as there are more Teslas on the road, then there will be more and more chargers, which will again increase demand for a Tesla. When charging stations suddenly pop up in certain areas of a town, there's a correlation in sales in that area. Same with service centers too. These charging stations are advertising for Tesla, as so many people drive past them all the time, giving more brand recognitions to the product and seeing more solid infrastructure. Don't forget what a big deal Tesla's supercharger network really is. However, as big as it is already, well, Tesla are going to double the size next year. Tesla is already the safest car in the world, but that's not good enough. Tesla aren't interested in just taking the title of the safest car in the world for bragging rights. Tesla are doing everything they can to continually work on the safety of the car. Of course, Tesla can find out everything that happened in a crash, or even prior to the crash. They can use that data to further improve the safety. Just with an over-the-air update, they can change the way the airbags deploy in a safer way, for example. However, the big one Elon's talking about is using AI and the cameras to preemptively prepare the car for a collision if autopilot sees there's a crash occurring with a 99% probability. Thus, they can deploy the airbags more smoothly and the seatbelt pre-tension can occur earlier. I also think the safety aspect of owning a Tesla also doesn't get enough credit. I love knowing that my children are in the safest car in the world whenever we go anywhere. Elon says he thinks people will be blown away with AI Day Part 2 next month. I think we're expecting a working robot able to carry out a task that can replace a human. I think we'll be given a demonstration. Just don't expect the robot to look that pretty. And Elon thinks that this side of the business is highly underrated and more valuable than the car business, which is saying something because we think the car business might do quite well too. Elon doesn't understand why analysts are not understanding the value of the robot. If robotaxis are going to be the equivalent of us winning the lottery, then if the robots are a thing, it would be like hitting the bonus ball as well. Elon says that the next decade they may have over 100 million Teslas on the road. Given that they just made their 3rd million recently, that leaves about 100 million over the next 10 years, or an average of 10 million a year, which might help us gather some accuracy with our 2030 model when that's finally complete. Just imagine 100 million a year FSD subscriptions. Even if subscriptions were just $3,000 a year, then that's $300 billion a year of revenue, which is pretty much all profit relative to running cost due to the leverage of software. Of course, a lot of those cars might also be robotaxis, earning even more income. Alright, next up are the questions, which we'll have to get into next time. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.